Well, hey guys, how are you today? And you do know what today is. Today's Wednesday, where we just sit down and we have a lovely talk on the sofa. And hey babe, close your door. But yeah, so I made the mistake of having the dates wrong with my guests. So you did, if anyone was looking at the posters that I shared, Mr. Brian was supposed to be on today, but I misunderstood the message. He's on a couple of shows that are coming up, but not this show. So it's just lovely old me by myself with the topic of what do I need from my woman? Mm, great, right? Let me first introduce myself for those that have not watched this, that just may be watching this either on Facebook or YouTube for the very first time. I am LaRon, and this is the Sofa Real Talk, where, like I stated earlier, where we just basically sit on the sofa and we have deep conversations. And so let me change this right quick, so I can get that. Boom. All right. So I was thinking, this is probably going to go a little bit different than what I was wanting it to go, due to the fact that, like I said, our guest for tonight, um, that was supposed to have been on, it was my fault. Um, it's not going to be on today. So for my Bible lovers, I picked Ecclesiastes 4:9. There are, wait, two are better than one because they have a good return from their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Remember that. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And this verse spoke out to me when I was thinking about this topic, due to, actually, we just did our podcast. And if you haven't heard about our podcast, it's the Soulful Pillow Talk on all podcast platforms. But we just did a podcast this past Wednesday, and we talked about balance. And it kind of coincide with this topic. What do I want from my woman? Or do I need, is the better word. Something that I think not only I, just men in general, right? Trust, patience, because how society works, there are so many things pulling, not only at a woman, but at a man as well. And so uh, I can probably honestly say that women do mature a little bit better than men do. Um, but that's not an excuse, man. But I think that's where that patience comes in. And if you have, yes, again, like I say, trust and patience. And I'm glad that you are taking notes there, madam. But so in a nutshell, think about it like this. If you look at all the relationships that are going on right now, a lot of posts that are going on right now, there are a lot of women being, voicing their opinions about, especially about the black male and his shortcomings. And if you really dig deep, ladies, you really have to understand, going back to our previous episode from last week, again, not an excuse, but if you look at all the generational habits that has been passed down from man to man to man to man to man to man to now, if you look at the generation at this moment to a boy, which is going to become a man, there's some shortcomings, and I get it. So when I say what I need from my woman, you also have to think as in a mother as well that is raising a child, a son. Like I stated on a previous episode, and not on the previous episode, I actually stated this in a another live that I was watching Sunday, where just because a man is not present, a woman can still raise her son to be one heck of a husband if he tends to be a husband. You know, you do have the individuals that don't want to get married, that don't want a family, and for those, I would like to say, if that is the case, you shouldn't just go around sticking your Tom, Dick, and Harry in every woman around just for kicks. That's a whole nother subject. But for those that are looking to have families, you have to understand, ladies, that how society unfortunately is set up. It's not on either. It's not set up great for the black male, anyways. Men in general, where it comes to basically, it just states that we should be a provider and we should come home and just be controlling in a sense. But for those men that understand this verse, understand that two are better than one. I am talking to those. I am talking for those. And for me, I would say what I need for her to know, because it is not as much as outside of the trust and the patience. What I need for my woman is I need for her to know that she is my equal, that I have her back, that if she falls, I would do anything in my power to pick her up. And I'm saying all of this is because that's the same thing that I need from her. And I know I'm not talking about myself alone when I say this, because there are some great men that are out there trying to build a great foundation so that his family can be good. And like Lisa's just stated, men need equal partnerships. And for those that are watching, if you can please share for me, I totally appreciate it. Because just take Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, let alone outside of your house. Look how the relationships are. It's almost like society is pinning man and woman against each other. Like it's a taboo thing. And see, we've already had the show where what does a woman need from her man? Now I know, and I tried actually, I reached out to a lot of men to see if they would be a part of the show. And again, that was my mishap with Brian, because I know if Brian was available, Brian would love to do so. But it was random people that I reached out to, and not to throw anybody up under the bus. But it's easier, for some reason, it's easier for a woman to speak up about what she needs from her man. But it is so hard for a man to say, sweetheart, this is what I need. Outside of wanting sex. And I could be reaching, but I can say from my experience and from what I see, society is really strong when it comes to pushing the sex aspect of what a man needs. So a lot of women are on the back end looking and saying, okay, all I am good for is sex. And that is not true. That is not true whatsoever. Again, if you're seriously messing, and I'm not even going to say messing, if you're seriously dealing with a man that is looking for creating a stable foundation, and not saying that sex is not needed in the relationship, but it's going to be more than that. He's going to need more than that from you. Miss Evelyn says many men do not believe women are equal, thus they treat her as a glorified dog that speaks English. When women do not want to stand for that, they are called unsubmissive. And I can see that, Miss Evelyn, definitely. The thing is that again, the concept we have to what we're looking for in this season is changing the narrative. There's much need for men to start speaking up in a positive aspect. Hence the reason why I personally, if I'm out, and you know what's so funny, my daughter has a tendency of, because I've been on the phone with my daughter plenty of times, and I've come across many females and said, hey, I like your hair. Hey, I like your dress. Hey, you're very beautiful this morning. And she was like, why are you forever complimenting a woman? It just so happens she's always on the phone when I'm complimenting a woman. Never hears when I'm complimenting a man, which I do that too as well. But I sense of a sense of it's not jealousy, but a a form of I think she takes it as I'm trying to hit on them, but I see it as my due diligence of me being Christ-like, not only to females but males as well, because I don't know what either is going through when they leave the house. And 9 times out of 10, especially if I'm complimenting a older woman, there have been plenty of times where I get, my God, or bless you, because I needed that today. For me, that is a form of a blessing of me getting the gratification of, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a God-fearing man, meaning loving regardless of who the person is, right? So men, now that I'm seriously talking to men, especially our black men, in order for us to get this trust and patience that we need from our women, we have to change the narrative on how we respect our women. Also, ladies, again, it doesn't take you from out of the equation when it comes to changing the narrative on how you see men as well, because just because you are in several relationships where some of us, well, not us, well, I have as well, but some of you guys have allowed a good for nothing man mistreat you, and then as soon as one comes up that has some substance to himself, then you mistreat him or he's not good enough for you. Like Miss Evelyn said, it's changing the narrative. Lisa, it's just a compliment. Say thank you and move on. Don't be so critical. Well, again, the world has caused the chivalry to be non-existent. Um, Makes me think about this past weekend going out with my bae. I opened the door for her, and a older woman said, "Dang, Shivery isn't dead after all." And then she looks at her man, and then the first thing he says is, "God darn it, now you don't mess me up. Now I got to go open the door." Me, I'm 41 years old. He seems to be possibly past 50. So me being younger than him and actually showing a little more shiveryness, I don't know if that's a word or not, than him. Not saying that he doesn't do it or never has done it before to her. It's just it's weird because for me, that's all I know. I've never been taught that, but it's just a part of me that I feel that is part of that protection that I can offer my woman, that energy that I feel, and it may be weird, but it's part of that energy exchange. I feel is that if I open the door, I feel that if I give her more of a break of doing, even if it's just mundane things, that that's energy that she's being able to build up to provide the things that I need. Again, which is that trust, that patience, that time, that strength to pick me up when I'm in some of my darkest moments. So that's how I see, that's how I feel, that's how I believe, and that's how I think. Me as myself, not anybody else, is the reason that fuels the things that I do for my lady. So if you need to think in that aspect, because there are a lot of men right now that you don't pick me up, you don't put energy into me. That's what I need. But what are you doing in order for her to put in that energy? Are you draining her, then turning around and looking for things that you need? And you can't do that. Ms. Evelyn says, I agree. The problem with the sex that men seek in interaction is that they don't understand what you're saying, that the relationship needs to be built on more than that. They need to seek more than that, but many do not. Changing the narrative. Hashtag, yes. Lisa, my father was a good man during the days because at night he knew he needed somewhere for his head to lay. That's exactly what that lady said. This is the quote she gave. No good deed goes unpunished. And I truly and honestly believe that. Again, where two are better than one because they have a good return from their labor. There's no return if I'm benefiting only. There's no I if there's no her. Now, I'm talking in the form of a relationship. There's no needs if she can't provide. And if she's tired because I am dogging her, I am wearing her out, I'm not giving her any time, any space, my needs will never be met. And I'm not talking about outlandish needs because, again, I, I emphasize the sex thing because so many men out here right now, like Miss Evelyn was stating, that women are just that, nothing more, nothing less, but they're more than that. The nurturing nature of a woman, men, let me explain, that is something that you also need. Sometimes we have those ideas that we can't get up off the ground, but if you have that equal partner beside you that you can just go to and say, baby, dang, you know what? This is what I've been thinking. And I just don't know what to do. And I'm speaking for those women that have sound minds. Because again, we are not raising husbands, nor are we raising wives. And I'm not meaning as in a controlling man or a submissive woman. No, 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 no. I'm meaning raising little boys and little girls to understand once they leave home and they pair up with someone to become a partnership. You can't be dogging each other out because there are some women that are in relationships right now. Again, like I stated, you do have that man. You do have that man that's wanting that foundation. You do have that man that's trying to build that foundation for you. But because of what you've been through prior, you're draining him and he's not living up to what you feel that he should be. I've been there before too. Miss Lisa says, put into the relationship what you desire to get out of it. Now, with that being said, again, we can go back to the men with the sex situation is that I'm putting in a relationship that I just want sex. And then that's what they get out of it. And then they just keep constantly moving. What do I need from my woman? I don't need my woman to feel as though she's just a tool. Now, I'm not to sit up here with one to say that I don't desire. Now, that keyword desire sex. I desire sex all the time. All the time. Especially with the lady that I have. To me, she's sexy. I love her to death. Desire is like up there. Do I need it? No, that's not that need. I need that trust and that patience more than I need the sex. Because I know that the sex is coming if I'm providing the energy, the safe haven, being productive on my end. So I need my woman to understand that there are going to be dark moments where I may need to ball up in a corner and cry. That doesn't mean that I'm weak. Now, I also need my woman to understand that the balance, there is such a thing as balance. Miss Evelyn talked about this in the generational habit breaking conversation we had last Wednesday, where her parents showed the balance of dad is down and out. Remember that verse? Mom stepped up. So if mom steps up, that means that mom has possibly has to go to work, may even find a job that's better than what dad has. A job to a degree that she may not want to leave that job once dad, man, husband, boyfriend is able to get back into the groove of things. But I feel as though if there's an understanding, a balance that both can sit down and say, hey, okay, so I'm good. I'm finna go back to work. Well, sweetie, go right ahead. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and just stay and keep doing what I'm doing. And that should be fine. Because guess what? Again, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. Lisa said, yes, I believe that was one of the references she was making in her comment. Also stating duly noted. Miss Evelyn says, what any man needs from a woman depends on the type of man he is. Noble men will need noble things. Selfish men will prioritize selfish things. Men need a safe place to be emotional and to release stress. That is correct. And men, I am not talking about where I am bashing your head in or dogging the woman out again. It goes right back to basically what Miss Evelyn was saying, noble men. There's a difference, ladies. You're giving all your attention to a lot of these unnoble men and expecting the same thing in return. But because you've been bruised by these unnobled, unselfish men, when that noble man does come, you don't know how to treat him. I've been there several times. You would think out of all that I've gone through, that me being in a relationship that I am in now, I wouldn't be doing what I do on a daily basis. There for a split moment, I did cross the line where I was at a point to what, why should I? Because I've been doing it over and over since I've been dating, and I've just been getting the same thing, nothing that I personally need to continue doing what I'm doing. But it took me to realize that the type of women that I coupled up with, they one didn't know the value of themselves. And regardless of me trying to get them to understand that, it was something in them that they needed to take care of. And unfortunately, that's something that you can't do. Not saying, and it's something that I just stated on TikTok, not saying that you don't supposed to go around and help people heal, but if you are commissioned by God to heal someone, those people are not those people that you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Now, building someone up is totally different than actually healing, or healing with that person. Beside that person, that's something totally different. And I knew this time around, I didn't need a woman that I needed to heal. Not saying that I couldn't get in a relationship with a broken woman, but I needed to, if she was broken, I needed to know that she's healing on her own, and that I will fight with her. I will be beside her while she's going through the transition of healing. That's a thing that I needed for her to know, that I am not here to heal you, but I am here to battle beside you, walk with you as you go through these different obstacles. So it's small things that are more important than these things that we make so huge. Miss Evelyn says, dad or husband, yes. Boyfriend, no. She should keep working if all he is a boyfriend. Miss Evelyn agreed. Miss Evelyn also said, too many look for broken men to heal them. Well, Miss Evelyn, to be honest, I think a lot of that is not that some women look. Because let me take myself for instance. A lot of my relationships were with broken women, and I found myself healing them. Um, and it wasn't because I sought them out to heal them. Now, I can go back and I can see where God commissioned me to be in their life to help heal them. But while during that process, not knowing that that's all I was supposed to be doing, but through that process of getting to know them, we're conversating, I anchored on the littlest thing that said, ooh, you know what? I like this about them. Oh, now I'm in love. Then I cross that sexual plane. Then, oh, now I have to be in a relationship, because again, I am not that type of person that I want to use and abuse a woman for sex. Sex is so much deeper than for that for me. And if that line is being crossed, then for me, which I know a lot of people don't think like this, is I am bound in a relationship with you. So that's what messed me up. Running from my God-given purpose of helping and healing, I found myself falling for that person. And so that person had more animosity towards me because I became more of a dad figure, uh, more of a counselor. So they couldn't provide anything I needed because they didn't see me like that anymore. And it took me years to realize that every relationship I found myself in, I didn't get what I needed from out of it. So I applaud my little lady that I'm with now. Um, because I came from I came from out of the fire, burnt, scarred, and she didn't look at those scars and say, "Wow, yeah, you're a little too damaged." And I hear you saying that you're battling through those scars and you're putting a little saws on it, you know, sass saws. What them little what this thing the grandmas used to be using back in the days? A little ointment. If you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about. But so I appreciate that. I really do. Miss Evelyn says, rephrase. Too many women look for men to heal them when they themselves are broken. Ah, yes. Miss Evelyn also said, I agree that the lines of help and relationship should remain clear. You're absolutely right. Solve. Yes. Look, see, I still have yet to, what is in that ointment? Was it something that we put together? Or because I think you can buy it off the shelves now, if I'm not mistaken. But so going back to that that verse, that scripture, two again are better than one. And not saying anything to people that are single or they don't want to get married, because there are a lot of you guys out there. This is not saying that you all are broken or anything. Um, because the reason why you may be single is that you understand that I just don't need to be jumping around. And men, if that's what you're doing, you're never going to get what you need from that woman that's actually for you. There are a lot of us running around here passing up on that woman that's for you, or you may even have that woman that's for you. And like Miss Evelyn said, you're basically using her as a tool. And it's not what you need. It's not beneficial. It is a microwave benefit. That's what I'm gonna call it. A microwave benefit. Put the microwave on 4 to 5, let's say 30 minutes, because the average time, what, for sex in most cases, 30 minutes, right? So you put the microwave on for 30 minutes. Ding! Once the 30 minutes done, you eat your meal or whatever, and it's over with. You're on to the next meal. You're on to the next situation. And if that meal was an actual microwave dinner, then you definitely are not getting the vitamins that you need to benefit your health. Not calling women microwave dinners, but I'm calling them microwave dinners because of how the aspect of the man is looking at her as a quick fix, as a quick hungry man's dinner. Stick it in the microwave, 2-3 minutes, boom, boom, eat it, boom, gone. You're not going to get what you need. You can't put that form of effort and sit and say that I need the trust, I need the patience, I need you to believe in me. It doesn't work like that. So all of the things that I'm asking for from my woman, I need to personally know that I have to put in as well in order to get those things. Yes, smelly stuff. I haven't seen that stuff in a while. Lisa also stated it's not good for a man to be alone. Men need women to keep and be of good company. Totally correct. True, but it is not emphasized as much for him as it is for her. No, it is not. And sometimes I feel I emphasize that more than anything. I'm not saying that I am team female, to a degree. I mean, team male to a degree, but basically, I'm definitely team female because the female is the 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 birthing of our kids. So if you find yourself in a relationship and you guys are looking to have kids, the energy that you put in that transfers. You know, again, and I've stated on these shows plenty of times how I had my first child and then I had my second child and I left my child out for it. I just abandoned her. And that caused a problem. I know it did. I can talk to my daughter now. Not even her, the two kids that I had after her, I wasn't in their life, not on purpose, but me not being there, me not being able to put that energy in. That's a problem. And I know there's going to be problems with dating because my dad wasn't there to put that energy into my mom, but he needed a form of energy as well from her, but she could not give it. She could not provide it because of the drain. So again, not telling every man to do what I do on a daily basis. All I do is say, just try it and see if it works. In order to get what I need, I get up every morning knowing that my baby had a possibly hard day, even if she didn't have a hard day previously. But when she wakes up, she's a totally different person. And I have to re-love her. It makes it exciting for me. It's like a scavenger hunt in a sense. Who is she today? How different is she going to be today? Even if she wakes up and all day long she's the same person as she was previous, still, to me, that is a totally different person. Ms. Evelyn states that, what would you say to women who want to break a man's who wants to break a man's looking at her for sex only when she is so pressured to give in or he will leave? Mm, let him leave. Again, it's something I tell my daughters. If that's all he's looking for, then definitely that that is not a man looking to build a foundation, to build a family. If that's all he's worried about. Um, I'm starting to see a lot of women on posts to where, what can you bring to the table? You know, what can you bring to the table? I'm not going to date a man that ain't bringing nothing to the table. And I understand. And a lot of that comes from that a lot of females have allowed themselves to be used. As much as a man can sit up here and tell you, I need sex. That's what I need. I need it now. But they're not providing anything else but the good D. Why are you accepting that? So again, I can come, hypothetically speaking, let's sit up here and say I'm single and I'm going after this woman, right? And I tell her, hey, we have a few good dates. Then now I'm spitting game as in saying that, hey, when we're gonna do it, because I really like you, but I really can't go any further until I see what you're working with, because I don't want to be just to see what's. There are a lot of women getting this form of pressure, actually, and to be honest, Miss Evelyn, is becoming strong on the female side as well, and I'm pretty sure it comes from because they've been done this way several times. So women are like, men can do it, I can do it too as well. You know, yes, let them leave. Let them leave. This is the point to where when you put your foot down, I don't think a lot of women understand. If you sit up here and you say no and you put your foot down, and this person says, "Oh, well, you ain't no good anyway. I knew you was a little hussy, or you ain't nothing but a tramp, or whatever," then obviously he never had any good intentions in the first place. So I go back again. Guys, in order for you to get what you seriously need, not what you want, you have to have good intent in order to get this, where both labors are good. Your intent on both sides has to be good. And right now, how society is just throwing stuff out for relationships, what a relationship should be, what a woman role should be, we're not getting this. You are seeing this now more than ever. If you look where me and my baby, we've come across a couple of relationships on TikTok where it seems to be blossoming. You're seeing love, and then you're also seeing just some addicts. When I mean addicts, are where they're just doing things in order to get the clicks, the views and whatnot, instead of just providing some form of substance, not only for themselves but for other kids to see, where there is a such thing as a healthy relationship. So yes, leave if that man is not bringing anything to the table outside of you just being used, or you being potentially used. Think more of yourself. That's all I got to say. Think more of yourself, because obviously he isn't. And the stuff that you're providing is going to deaf ears. So I'm going to end it with that. Let me see. The next episode next week is let's talk about sex, and Brian is actually going to be on that show. As of right now, that's all I have on that show next week. But it's not what you think. So I would definitely tune in. We go in definitely going in depth about sex and what it means. We're not doing positions or how good we like it. We definitely need to talk about sex, because right now sex is one of the top roots of all evil that's going wrong around here. I was saying wrong around here. Sex is just basically being misused. So that is next week's topic. So definitely, for those that catch this at a later time, share. Um, Definitely, um, pay attention to the end of the show. We have an outro now, and if you're wanting to follow us, the outro shows our platforms that we're on and our handles that you can find us, because we are doing podcasts. Actually, I don't have the podcasts on there, but it is the Sofa Pillow Talk. You can find us on Google, and working on Pandora, but iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify. But at the end of the show, on the outro, you will see where our handles for TikTok and YouTube, because we just restarted our YouTube. So, with that being said, guys, I totally appreciate you watching. And for those who watched the recording, thank you for watching it at a later time. And feel free to comment any comments that come in after. I definitely go back and I respond to all of them. So, you guys have a great night. And again, like I stated, just hold off for our intro so that you can see what our handles are and what platforms we're on. Toodaloo.